client of mine who was a nurse. She did overtime, she did shift work, so her income was very fluctuating. She also had like a failed relationship and lots of debt around her husband, and she was in a very bad way when I first met her. And she didn't think that she couldn't see any way out of it. And then she did my plan, my 6 months plan. We went through it, we sorted her out. And then I got an email from her saying that, I don't know what you do, but the other day when I got paid, I had over $1,200 in my bank account before I got paid. And she goes, I don't know what you did. And I was like, I didn't do anything.
Today's all about numbers, about getting your numbers in order, about taking the stress out of your financial accounting, and just having a little bit more fun when it comes to knowing what your money's doing and how much you got. All right, I have Samantha Boardman with me, and it's Spending Made Easy out of Australia. Sam,
Indeed.
Welcome to the program. How are you?
Thank you, Maureen. I'm excellent. Thank you. I've had to get up early for this because of the time difference, but that's okay.
Yeah, you're a trooper, and I love that. We enjoy our friends from down under. Okay, let's get into numbers. Let's get into what you do, and really, how can you make people less stressed about money? And we all know we really want to know how much money we have, especially this day and age. So take it away.
Exactly. So I run a business called Spending Made Easy, and basically we create spending plans for people which help them live a better life. They know exactly where all of their money is and that they can afford all their bills. And more importantly, they know where it is in the future, because with all the scenarios these days, with buy now, pay later scenarios, all our payments are in the future. And I think a lot of times when we budget for now, like what we've got now, but then we go out and we commit to future payments. So a spending plan basically replicates your bank balance and into the future. It helps you see your financial future before you get there. And it changes lives. It's awesome.
So first of all, your clients come to you. What is the first thing that causes them so much stress? And what do they do about it?
A lot of people are not paying their bills on time. And because we have things that we pay for daily, we have things that we pay for weekly, monthly, annually, quarterly, half yearly, every now and thenly, you know what I mean? Yeah, we probably only get paid once a month, or, those of us have got, multiple streams of income, then you get it something weekly, something monthly, something fortnightly, and then you get ad hoc payments. So it's often hard to keep up. And particularly with quarterly bills, people say, oh, damn it, I forgot that was coming in. So with a spending plan, we schedule them all in, and it knows when they are due, and it will tell you when they are due. And it also tells you how much money you need to have in your bank account before you get there. So you know that you've got to get an extra client or do some overtime, or you might just know that you're fine. The majority of my clients are completely fine, and they've got way more money than they realize. They just weren't monitoring it.
So first tip would be absolutely not only know what all your payments are, but schedule them, put them in a calendar, so this way you're aware of what they are, not just for the month, but potentially for the year, so you don't get any surprises.
Yeah, you don't need to put them in a calendar. You put them in the spending plan, and that's your calendar. So you don't need a calculator. You don't need your calendar. It is a calendar of your financial future. And then you live it. You literally go, you can see and go, all right, the gas is due tomorrow, the rent's due tomorrow, and then that's it. And then, the next thing is due is 10 days time or whatever. You can actually see, and it will tell you how much money you need to have in your bank account on any day of the week, and it projects 10 years into the future. So imagine saving something for a cruise or a car or a new house. You would know exactly how much you're going to have in the future.
You guys are experiencing inflation in this current economic inflationary period that we're having, right, in Australia? You're feeling it too, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay. So when it comes to your clients, when it comes to people that are listening, when they're saying that now, because really what you're doing is you're giving people control over things.
Absolutely.
Okay. And so within that, then they don't feel that the ground is caving out from under them.
Yeah. Okay. They do.
So,
and we empower people to do it themselves. They pay their own bills. And I can't tell you the difference. Like, I can demonstrate what I do with fictitious figures, with gas rent, electric, whatever, right? I can do it fictitiously, but I can't tell you the difference that when we put your figures in, the client and it's their figures, they go, oh my God, at the end of the year, I'm going to have $10,000 if I do this. And you go, yeah, that's all you got to do is live it, because we've taken account of all of their expenses, all of their regular expenses, and they live it because then they know what they can achieve because they can see it before they get there.
Well, I'm going to push you on this one a little bit though. So going back to inflation. So going back to inflation, right? Because you had your clients come to you, said, okay, I got this all planned out. And guess what? Now here's a 30% increase in food and gas and whatnot, because that's what a lot of people are feeling.
Yeah.
What you tell your client, just said, all right, there's an increase. And by the way, your salary didn't increase. And how did we meet in the middle? How did you bring your clients forward with the inflation?
Yeah, and isn't that the case of the way of the world right now? Like the fuel, the interest rates, here in Australia, the interest rates are crazy. So what I always say to my clients is overestimate your outgoings and underestimate your incomings. So we already build a buffer in. Say my mortgage, I've always had an extra couple of $100 on my expectation. So I built in the fact that the interest rate is going to go up.
Okay, so what you're telling me, you built in a little extra cushion and paying a little extra, so in case there's ever a problem, that rainy day is in there for when there's shorting. Okay,
so you're always ahead. I've got clients that just live, with what they've got. Then we say your mortgage is going up by this much on this date, right? We need to put it in, we need to account for it. What do we need to do? Because like we say, it's happening where you can see before you get there what you need to do, and it will tell you when you're in credit in your bank account, and it will tell you when you're in debit. So you can literally see a graph and go, right, I'm okay now for the next 6 months, but on this day I'm going to go overdrawn. And then cost of living goes up, in, like you say, inflation, everything goes up. You put everything going up in your spending plan. If you're living leanly and you haven't built a buffer in, say, right, that's going to go up to this, that's going to go up to this. It will say, right, you now last only 4 months. So you've got, right, I've got 4 months with all these extra charges. So you can always see before you get there what the impact of the current climate is.
Okay. And then people are going to say, oh, yeah, I so get that. I know I'm going to be out of money in 4 months, right? Yeah. There's a lot of people there. With that, then having the ability to plan, are you finding that your clients are psychologically in a better place? Are they navigating this place to where there's unexpected in the economy by having your plan?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got so many testimonials and stories and emails that people write me all the time about how it's changed their life, and just knowing the future, and the good and the bad. Generally it's good, but we all have our off days, and it's just knowing and having the power to do something, because when you know, then you can do something about it. Okay. It's for not knowing. If people don't have a spending plan, and they go out and they spend stuff on buy now, pay later scenarios, and they go, oh damn, the rent was due tomorrow, and now I've got to pay this and this, and then that's when they get into a pickle and they get stressed, and then they start making bad decisions. But with a spending plan, it's all laid out for you, and if you can see if there's surplus, you could have $200-300 a week surplus. So then when you do go out, you say, yeah, I know I can commit to those future payments because I know from my spending plan what my excess is.
So when it's coming to having a plan versus not having a plan, because that's what we're talking about, that when it comes to your clients, are they finding that their money's going further because they have control of it?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I had an email, now I was going to say not long ago, but it must be a year or two now. A client of mine who was a nurse, she did overtime, she did shift work, so her income was very fluctuating. She also had a failed relationship and lots of debt around her husband, and she was in a very bad way when I first met her. And she didn't think that she couldn't see any way out of it. And then she did my plan, my 6 months plan. We went through it, we sorted her out. And then I got an email from her saying that, I don't know what you do, but the other day when I got paid, I had over $1,200 in my bank account before I got paid. And she goes, I don't know what you did. And I was like, I didn't do anything. You just followed the program, you know what I mean? And that's because of when things fall and schedule. And it just happens that on her payday, she had $1,200 that morning before she got paid. She said, if somebody had told me that when I was in the doom and the gloom and before she started with Spending Made Easy, she would have said, nah, that's never going to happen. And now she loves it. And she actually insisted her daughter sign up too. So now her daughter does it. So it's awesome.
Because again, a lot of people are on the doom and gloom because they were managing. And now the economy's changed the rules on them and they're not managing with the same money, right?
Yes, that's exactly. We're all trying to fit more into less.
Exactly. So that piece, more into less. What would you say to someone there? 3 things they can do to make more come out of less coming in under this current inflationary thing.
Yeah.
But planning, but if you're planning, you're still looking and I'm out, where else do they get to take control and also to ride out this inflationary period that we're having? Where's the magic?
So I always say my number one is always start with your outgoings. You always start, so many people start with their incoming. So they say, right, I get this amount a month, and then they manage to allocate everything for that month, and then they get right, and then they spend it. And that's when people say, oh, I always spend what I've got. Whereas if you start with your outgoings and literally forget about your income for now, and you start with your outgoings, very rarely, because you've got stuff annually, monthly, weekly, fortnightly, very rarely do you get to your income, and it will show you your income. So that is huge. And it's like, I've proved it many times, you always start with your outgoings. And other things people can do is review their energy providers, their gas, their electric. They're not with the most economical. And these days, a lot of people are offering, discounts for new customers. And if you shifted a couple of your regular commitments, you can find a better deal elsewhere. And I also say, if you're living in lean times, it's always a good idea to be brutal with things that you don't need. Like, people subscribe to things and they don't need them and they don't use them. I had a client once who had 2 gym memberships, but he only went to 1 gym, and he hadn't really paid attention to the fact that he still was paying the gym membership from the first one. So if you actually look at things and go, oh, I can save here, I can save here. And another thing I would say is, rather than say, right, I have to not have takeaway now ever again because it's my spending plan says that I can't afford takeaway. Don't, just put the takeaway once a month, not every week. And then if you do little things here and there, it just makes a huge difference over the long run, because you're doing a little bit here, a little bit there. Try and cut back on your food. I speak to single mums all the time, and they say, oh, I spend $125 on food every week, $125. And so I say, do you think you could do it on 100? And they go, oh yeah, of course I could. All right, then do it on 100. So there is ways that you can just cut back in your day-to-day general, just cut back. If you have 4 coffees a day, try and just have 2. Just little things, loads of little things make a big difference.
I love that. All right. So Sam, again, the Spending Made Easy, the free gift. Tell us about your free gift.
My free gift would be, I've written a book. It's called Budgeting is Crap, because it is. So yeah, it is, isn't it? And I always get asked about, why would you call a book Budgeting is Crap when you have a budgeting business? But I did it to start the conversation, because budgeting is crap. Traditionally, when I was growing up, you had to save money, and the shopkeeper wouldn't, for you to buy your item, the shopkeeper wouldn't give it you until you had that money, and you had that instant gratification and that pleasure that you were proud of yourself, that you'd saved up for what you wanted, and then you got it. These days, we've got credit cards, buy now, pay later, whatever. So the traditional style of budgeting is crap. And now spending plans are in. So I would like to give any of your listeners a free copy of my ebook. So I'll send you the link, and there's a little QR code, and they can have a free copy of my ebook, Budgeting is Crap. And I like to make it fun too. It's my story. It's a true story. And yeah.
How can people get in touch with you? Grab the book, Budgeting is Crap. Can't make that stuff up. And how can they get in touch with you, Sam?
On my website, spendingmadeeasy.com.au, there's a request a callback. They send me an email. My mobile number is on there, but obviously I'm in Australia. They can schedule in a call with me on my calendar. That's all in my website. And if people want to do some research as well, check out the Google reviews on Spending Made Easy and Facebook testimonials too. So there's so many good stories. And there's also stories that, like, some of the best ones are people who are maybe they were a little bit shy or embarrassed and they don't want to write a testimonial. So I have to, just talk about them and change their names. So yeah, there's lots of good stuff out there. If you Google Spending Made Easy, I will pop up.
All right, good. Again, Sam Boardman, Spending Made Easy. Grab the book, go get in touch with Sam, get your numbers in order. And all right, everyone, until next time.